I like Harry Topper. I think I give him a tentative chance, second behind Beneficient as penultimate start.
Here's Jerry Hannon.
Side to the first of 17 fences in the Growise Champion Novice Chase, and it is Tofino Bay in the air with Back in Focus. They're all safely over fence number 1 as they continue their journey now to the first of the open ditches. And it is Tofino Bay on the inside of Back in Focus who share the lead, heading towards fence number 2. On the inside, Mount Benbulben being followed by the Dig Out with the white sheepskin noseband. Lyreen Legend is next, and then on the outside, Harry Topper for Jason Maguire and Kim Bailey as they make the turn to swing across to the 2 fences before the straight, numbers 3 and 4. And the leader is Tofino Bay by length to Back in Focus, a break of 2 lengths to Mount Benbulben. The Dig Out is 4th. Lyreen Legend and Harry Topper, then the black cap of Boston Bob, and Argo Cat brings up the rear. Reaching fence number 3, first of 2 before the home straight, and it's Tofino Bay over just in front of Back in Focus, the winner of the 4-mile amateurs at Cheltenham. And they're tracked by Mount Benbulben and the Dig Out and Lyreen Legend next, Harry Topper, Boston Bob, and Argo Cat. Racing to the fence before the straight. This is the 4th, and it's Tofino Bay over in front of Back in Focus, Mount Benbulben 3rd. The Dig Out is 4th, and Lyreen Legend is 5th, and Boston Bob, Argo Cat relegates Harry Topper to the back of the field. As the 8 runners swing in to the next 2 fences, 5 and 6, and in front is Tofino Bay, the white cap of Andrew Lynch. Back in Focus and Ruby Walsh in 2nd, and Mount Benbulben, Danny Mullins 3rd on the inside of the Dig Out. And Davy Russell, Lyreen Legend and Brian Cooper. And the Dig Out's a faller and almost brought down Lyreen Legend, and he did bring down Harry Topper. So that first fence in the straight has claimed to the Dig Out. Bringing down Harry Topper as Tofino Bay and Back in Focus race on together up in front of the stands with a couple of lengths then to Mount Benbulben, Lyreen Legend, Argo Cat and Boston Bob. 6 standing now with the circuit to go. And Jason Maguire walks away, and just being helped to his feet is Davy Russell as Tofino Bay leads them now to the fence away from the stands, number 7. Back in Focus close up on the outside. A break then of over 3 lengths to Mount Benbulben. Similar distance to Lyreen Legend, Argo Cat and Boston Bob brings up the rear. Away from that fence, and the 6 runners now beginning to get a bit spaced out as Tofino Bay is joined by Back in Focus, the 2 side by side, racing now to fence number 8. Over 4 lengths then to Mount Benbulben, and then comes Lyreen Legend, who's clear of the back pair, Argo Cat and Boston Bob. At the fence to the top of the course and heading down now to the halfway stage. And it is Back in Focus on the outside of Tofino Bay. Tofino Bay and Back in Focus. Very little to choose between them. 3.5 lengths to Mount Benbulben, and in 4th place Lyreen Legend. These are clear of Argo Cat, who in turn is out in front of Boston Bob. Downhill now to the next fence. This is number 9 and the second of 3 ditches, and Tofino Bay has stretched his lead again to a couple of lengths. Back in Focus 2nd, Mount Benbulben 3rd on the inside, and then Lyreen Legend, Argo Cat, and detached is Boston Bob. Next fence will be number 10. They're at the halfway point now in the Growise Champion Novice Chase, and Tofino Bay upholds a lead of a length from Back in Focus. A break of 3 then to Mount Benbulben, who's followed by Lyreen Legend, who's out in front of Argo Cat, and they're clear of Boston Bob. Turning now to race down the far side with over a mile left to go. 3 fences in a row awaiting them down the far side, and it is Tofino Bay, the leader from Back in Focus. They're still the 1st and 2nd, followed by Mount Benbulben and Lyreen Legend as they rise now at the first of 3 down the far side. Tofino Bay Back in Focus. Mount Benbulben has closed up behind them, and then Lyreen Legend, Argo Cat and Boston Bob now to the centre fence as their point of departure. And it is Tofino Bay on the inside of Back in Focus as they jump this one. Mount Benbulben over third. Lyreen Legend is fourth. Argo Cat 5. And sixth and last is Boston Bob. Now they're racing to the final fence in the back straight. 5 from home and last of the ditches. And it is Tofino Bay Andrew Lynch still at the head of affairs from Back in Focus. Ruby Walsh on the outside. Taking closer order is Mount Benbulben and Danny Mullins. And then Argo Cat and Lyreen Legend and Boston Bob. As they turn out of the back straight, they've 4 more fences left to jump. And the leader is Tofino Bay by a length to Mount Benbulben, who moves up to join issue with Back in Focus. And then Lyreen Legend and Argo Cat, and these 5 are clear of Boston Bob. 4 more fences left to jump now. On they come to the first of 2 before the home turn, and it is Tofino Bay the leader from Mount Benbulben. Back in Focus up on their outside. Argo Cat has made a little headway, and then Lyreen Legend and Boston Bob is trying to get closer. 3 fences left to jump, and it's Tofino Bay the leader from Mount Benbulben. Lyreen Legend on the outside of a ridden along Back in Focus. On the inside is Argo Cat and then Boston Bob as they approach the third last fence, and over in front just is Tofino Bay from Mount Benbulben. Boston Bob's a faller. 5 in it now as they race round the home turn, and it's Tofino Bay and Andrew Lynch pressed on the outside by Mount Benbulben and Danny Mullins, and these 2 have shaken off the attentions of Argo Cat. Back in Focus, Lyreen Legend, 2 fences left to jump, and it's Mount Benbulben on the near side of Tofino Bay. Back in third, Argo Cat, and then Lyreen Legend. Mount Benbulben lifts off in front and goes on from Tofino Bay, and third is Lyreen Legend, then Back in Focus and Argo Cat. 1 fence to jump in the Growise Champion Novice Chase, and Mount Benbulben is clear over the last 10 lengths in front of Tofino Bay, and we're on for a mild surprise here as Mount Benbulben is going to win the Growise Champion Novice Chase by half the track for Danny Mullins, Barry Connell and Gordon Elliott. Tofino Bay and Lyreen Legend, the stable companions, close second and third, and then in fourth place Back in Focus and Argo Cat, last of 5, 8 having set out.